Hey, Nuke, you got your bottle of Crown. Am I coming in? Am I getting okay? Glad. I spilt a little bit of, last week I made whiskey sours, which was a little presumptuous of me because it's just like egg whites, shaken, it was a lot. So I'm doing something a little bit better today. I'm just going to do an old-fashioned. I got my Maker's Mark. I like Maker's Mark. It's a little bit sweeter than other whiskeys. You're supposed to use a bourbon. This is exciting. I got my simple syrup, and this is just 1 part sugar, 1 part water, and you boil it. You're supposed to use an orange, but I got a lemon. I got little ice cubes, and my bar set. Hey, Clifford Pens. I love Maker's Mark too. It's one of my favorites. When you order it, I've been lately just getting whiskey and seltzer water. Oh, shit. All right, let's do this. Here we go, opening it up. See, this is good for me because I like to drink. So I'd be getting a whiskey or a bourbon anyway, and then I can just enjoy it with you guys because it's in a pandemic and no one's going anywhere. Oh, it smells really nice. I hope we're all having a cocktail right now. Why not? Again, this little bar set, Amazon, like $20. I'll be using it in my show. My computer is a Chromebook, and the camera is a little grainy. Let me see. Better? No? Wonderful. I got something cheaper, and I feel like I should have spent a little more money to get something nicer. You know? You ever bought something and you're like, I'm saving a couple bucks. And then you go for it and you use it and you're like, I should have spent a couple bucks. We accidentally got drunk before. Hey, Christine. Thank you for giving me advice. Christine's been giving me advice on online dating, and you've had a couple very good tips. One is to know what you're looking for, what's your profile, what that's set up. I don't want to give away your advice, but, really good stuff. I've just been kind of throwing it out there willy-nilly, and I've been like, woo, man, and then I, go on a Zoom date with a guy that put on his dead mother's clothes. So I should have a little more discrepancy. Video's good. Thanks, Christine. All right, so this is a 1 ounce pour because they itty bitty, but I'm a big girl, so I'm going to do 2 of these. You're supposed to muddle sugar at the bottom, but I could not find sugar at the bodega sugar cubes that I got at the bodega where I got this, so I'm just going to use a little simple syrup. I don't think the whiskey gods would be upset with me. 2 of those right in here. We'll do a little bit further back. A little simple syrup. Andrew, well, that's not what was expected. Norman Bates. Oh, what was not expected? Oh, yeah, it was not expected with the mom's clothes, the dead mom's clothes. No, not at all. Use a little bit. Let's use half. Oh, halfy, baby. And some bitters. Yeah, I mean, I like being single because I was in a relationship for 8 years, and no shame on him at all. We were just 2 different people. I wish more people realize that before they're like, let's save our relationship with a kid, because that never works. Never works. Or let's save the relationship with getting married, and now you're like, how many thousands of dollars in the hole? Also, if I ever get married, it's for sure going to be the cheapest way possible. I mean, I do like nice things, but I also like skimping when appropriate. A little bit of the zest. Let me get this out. Oh boy. I like nice things, but I also like, if it doesn't have to be nice. Oh, I need water in this. Shit. Did I tell you I was a bartender? Little splash of water. Hey, Christine, I like being single too. Yeah, I mean, it works. If it works, it works. Splash. It works, it works. Especially, why make somebody else suffer if you're having a great time? You know what I mean? If you're having a great time and you don't want to be in a relationship, why do you have to be like stringing somebody along? I don't know. Bam. Old fashioned. Not quite the ice cubes you're supposed to use. You're supposed to use the big chunky cubes. That's a good one. I'm excited to drink these all night with you guys. Yeah, I like being single. You know, I go where I want to do what I want. I make my own money. I've never like relied on a man for money. Maybe in my early 20s when I didn't quite know what I was doing. And I mean, I was always taught like, if you're pretty enough, a man will come along and save you. And then I kind of quickly realized how bullshit that was. So I'm pretty independent. And I don't think men like it either. For women, it's just like, baby, give me this, buy me this, do me this. Right? No man wants that. I mean, I would not nag somebody. I would not make them feel disgusting, but I'm not gonna, I don't know, what am I saying? I lost a follower. I should stop looking at the followers. Probably not by choice, but honestly works out. Freedom is pretty important at the moment, not to mention friends getting hitched, having kids. Yeah, especially right now. A lot of people are having kids. I mean, people are stuck inside. What else are they gonna do? You know, just boning and groaning all day. Oh boy, something in my ice? Is there something in the ice? Oh wait, that's the lemon. A lot of people having kids, a lot of people getting married. When I scroll through Instagram and I see people getting married and having kids, I click like. I'm not going to be some bitter Betty who's just sitting here like, I know, I'm awful being single. Why can't I have a man? Like, not at all. I would like going on dates. I would like to find somebody who could travel and explore the world and be chill. That'd be nice. They're going to use birth control. Yeah, they should use birth control. I mean, I haven't been on birth control. I was on it once when I was like 22, and I was feeling really, really bad. And I was telling people, like, I'm feeling really bad, guys. And they're like, Amber, you're just being overdramatic. And I remember, like, smoking a cigarette and being like, whoa. And I remember it was my birthday. And I was like, guys, I have to. And I, like, laid down on the pavement in New York. And they thought I was drunk. I didn't have any drinks. And I was like, guys, I am bad. And I was like, I went home and they kept partying. And I looked at what was different in my life and why I felt sick. And it was Yaz. It was Yaz birth control. And then a few months later, my neighbor's home. A few months later, it came out in a report that women were dying from it. That it was a birth control given to very poor, because I went to poor clinics, and they were like, here, take this new birth control. But we were like being used as lab rats, as poor people are always done. Joke hit late. But the travel thing, oh yeah. Well, you're right. I should put that travel thing on my dating thing. I like to travel, even if it's just down the street. I don't want to max out credit cards. I don't want to, you know me, I'm a penny pincher. But when I do travel, that's exactly what did the, I'm going to see if, oh shit, I see if I locked the door. Oh no. Okay, my roommate left. Hey, Mike. My roommate left, and I was like, oh my God, did they lock me out? And I just have to be drinking old fashions all night with you guys. 3 things I don't mind spending money on. Safety. Like I was at the Grand Canyon, and I was like, I could go camping and get like a $14 tent or whatnot, but I don't know what I'm doing. And these national parks, the woods, they're filled with rapists and wolves. I'm not going to be out there. I'm going to get a hotel. The hotel I got, I think I paid like $75 a night because nobody was staying there. Take advantage of the times, the off times. That's the best time to go vacation, when nobody's really there, because you're going to get the whole place to yourself. I sat in a hot tub by myself and just got drunk on like some $8 Negroni thing. Great. But yes, I don't mind spending money on that. And a little bit of safety, a little bit of security. If I want like a home security system and I'm living in a bad neighborhood, absolutely I'll spend money on that. Another one, education. And does education mean some Ivy League college? No, because honestly, I don't think they teach you anything better than a trade school does. To be honest, it's really the connections you make. That's why people go to NYU, Brown, all those places. Chris says 3 things spending money on. Oh, also grows in the profile. That's a really good idea. And yeah, and travel. So if I want to go and travel again, it doesn't have to be expensive. Do you know that like my ex lived in middle America, like in the Midwest? Do you know traveling to the Midwest is more expensive than going to Tokyo? There were a few times I was buying tickets to like, you know, Midwest area Christmas tickets, and I was like, I could go to Tokyo with this money. I could probably rent some little cubicle to sleep in and then have the time of my life and not. I mean, his family was lovely. It's not like I had a miserable time. But I'd rather be in Tokyo. Oh shit. Has anybody ever been to Tokyo? I hear it's quite sexually repressed. That's interesting. It's interesting when a culture is sexually repressed, and I think we're getting that way now. Because I see people on Twitter that are just like, why won't anybody fuck me? And it's like, boys, girls, everybody in between, everybody's saying this. And I'm like, why doesn't everybody just fuck each other? Oh, there's a child over there. Like, why doesn't everybody who's lonely just get together and like sop genitals? Just slap them together like a grease bucket. If everybody's so lonely. That's all I read. And that turns into hatred and resentment on every sex. You know, they're just like, men are this way, women are this way, men are this way, lesbians are this way, men are this way. I mean, yes, you know, eat some pussy and some dick. Did not know that Toki would be fun. The food has to be better than like Iowa or something. Yeah, the food in the Midwest. You know, I don't. You often hear the phrase like white people don't spice their food, and I would often get a little offended by that, to be honest, because I'm from the South, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But then I went to the Midwest, and I was like, oh, now I know what you're talking about. I saw a Thanksgiving turkey get a sprinkling of salt and then put in the oven, and that's it. And that's it. And it was drier than my pussy 3 months into Corona lockdown. That's pretty dry. That's all they did. No brining, no herbs, no butter, no nothing. I think I made them like a lemon chicken, roasted lemon chicken with potatoes, and they're like, "Whoa, how'd you do this?" And I'm like, "Pretty, it's follow a recipe." I mean, but now Corona, like, a lot of the food isn't getting shipped. What's your favorite spice or brine? Spice or brine? Honestly, like spices, probably like a Tony Sacheron's or a Lowry salt, even though that's not a spice, it's more of a salt. I like a lot of fresh herbs. I like dill. I like lots and lots of dill. That's a really beautiful fresh herb at the end of something. Um, Brining, I really like the use of brown sugar in the brine because then it caramelizes the meat. Like it gives it a little nice little smoky flavor. Brine equals turkey lube. That's exactly what it is. And you should brine your turkeys because it'll make it a little more flavorful and moist in the outcome. Mm. Also, frying a turkey is really good. Love fried turkey. Good Lord, turkey is so dry to begin with. Yes, turkey's dry to begin with. And they just did a little bit of salt, put it in the oven, and I was like, and then they all got sandwiches all the time. That's all the Midwest is a bunch of sandwiches. And they're like, oh, we're so poor over here, we don't get anything. And like, sandwiches are more expensive. You got to get the bread, you got to get the meat, you got to get the accoutrements, you know, the lettuce, the tomato, the mayonnaise. Like, that's pricier than just getting a couple potatoes and a bird. Ciggy time? I did want a cigarette. How did you know, Janet? Did you know my Jeffington? I'm going blind, but I have to have the computer away from me so you can see all the things. I think I had a comment that nobody could see the bar setup last time. So like that. This is a pretty bare bones operation I'm doing here. It's just me in kind of like an alleyway, but you know, that's the best place to drink. Who would have thought? Last week I went to this, because I live in Thai Town, And there's this little place. They have sake bombs and Thai chicken wings. Sake bombs $5, and it was all done in the parking lot. Who thought I would be saving the world by drinking in a parking lot? Just like I did back in high school. Did anybody have that high school experience? Drinking in parking lots because you have nowhere else to go? There's a lot of drug use in those towns because they have nothing to do. I mean, good Lord, get a bowling alley. Use some of those allocated funds. Get a bowling alley, get a skating rink, something. A movie theater, something. And the elders are all like, they're always against it. They're always like, no, they should be in church. I'm like, yeah, church, but that's fine. But like, give the kids a bouncy ball, like some activities, or else they're just going to go pop some hooch. Porches, decks, patios, parking lots. That's what's up. This is surprisingly good. Like cocktails that are invented in the 20s when they had like 3 or 4 ingredients, those were the best. Those were honestly the best because you're just enjoying those simple ingredients and they all kind of blend well together. Anytime someone's like breaking out 20 juices, not a good drink. It's going to give you a headache and it's not going to make you drunk. Did I bring my lighter? Yes, I did. I didn't want to smoke on this episode, but when I'm drinking, I quit for 5 days when I went and visited my mother in Mississippi. I didn't smoke. I was a non-smoker. I felt great. I had great skin, I looked great. And then as soon as I left, I was just like lighting it up in the airport. Tailgated my friend's wedding, which didn't please the bride. Maybe they should have offered you more than a tailgating situation. If you had to tailgate, that means the bar sucked inside, right? What drink orders are the most revealing about a customer? Definitely like a whiskey soda, a tequila soda. Those are people that are probably bartenders or maybe older people that want to cut back on the sugar and the calories. Anybody who orders a Cosmo is probably pretty young, probably saw a lot of Sex in the City. Anybody who orders like a vermouth on the rocks or a Campari probably spent some time in Italy or is maybe older or looks a little more distinguished. Men who order like a bourbon neat are a little more controlling. I generally find with people they don't want ice, they're a little more type A personality because when ice melts, you can't control the water in the drink. But when you say ice on the side, then you can control how much ice goes in here. You're probably a little more type A. What about a gin martini people? Those are good people. Gin martini people definitely have some class. They're probably going to order a steak. They're probably going to tip you really well. Gin martini is definitely up there with one of my favorite cocktails, and I might even make that next week. It's, again, another one of those cocktails that are like 3 or 4 ingredients. It's simple. It's beautiful. Anybody who orders something with juice in it is probably under 25. Anybody who orders a stout, like a peanut butter stout, is probably a bro, and that's going to be his dinner. Or if not, he'll order some chicken wings with it or whatever. Peanut butter stouts, I don't really mess with. People like them. I find them too heavy. Yes. Are we controlling? No. What about women that order bourbon neat? Oh, women that order bourbon neat. She's probably some kind of CEO. She's probably either CEO or a very upset housewife with a lot of money. She probably was rolling out of an Escalade, and this is her one time to just relax, and she's going to order it neat. And they're probably the kind of people that are going to order their food a very specific way, tell you exactly what they want. It might be a little bit demeaning at the time, but if you give them what they want, they're going to tip you really well. And that's a sign of old money. Old money is very, they very much know what they want, when they want, how they want it, and they're going to take care of you. New money, they don't quite know. I want it like this. I don't know. You didn't do it right. No, I want it. And then they're not even going to tip you. New money is horrible. No one likes new money. Nobody. I like neat for that ice description. Hate the water too. Gin and tonic mean anything? And what about the folks who double up? like beer and cocktails. If you probably do beer and cocktails, you might are wanting to have a good night. You know, like if you start, I would recommend starting with a cocktail and then going to a beer. Oh wait, no, maybe it's the other way. I don't know. Live your life. But they're probably out to have a fun night. I wouldn't recommend mixing alcohol. Like I wouldn't drink vodka after this. I would drink a beer. Um, I would stick to the brown liquor scenario. What was I saying? Old money, new money. Oh, so I was in New York City years ago, and I was walking down the street, and I'm very bad at cars. Like, I don't know anything about cars. That's a whole language I don't get. And then, beer and whiskey, beer and a shot. Those are very laid back, cool people. I like those people. The beer and a shot people, they know what they want. I like them. So I was in New York, and I saw this car, and I was like, whoa, this is a beautiful car. It was red and big. All I know was red and big. It was like not a Mercedes or a Porsche or anything. And then I saw this guy standing out front of it, and he had this little hat on and a suit. And I was like, oh, he's the driver. So I struck up a conversation. And I started talking to him, and I asked him things, and come to find out, he's been working for this guy because he was parked outside of a restaurant, very swanky restaurant, like a members only kind of place. Some of these places in old school New York, you had to pay just to pay, like they don't let anybody in there. Like something lamb, I forget what it was. Anyways, so he's there, and I'm talking to him. This driver has a wife and 3 children. All 3 kids went to college. His wife, stay-at-home wife, she doesn't have to work. He's been working for this guy for over 20 years. I say, but you know his secrets, right? He says, absolutely. And I say, but you're on call 24/7, right? Because it was at like 2 a.m. at this time. And he's like, oh yeah, he calls me anytime I'm up on Manhattan. So that's the thing with old money, is they demand a lot out of you, but they will take care of you. I mean, those 3 kids and that wife, taken care of. Worth it, I think. Beer and whiskey, don't mix the grain and the grape. Been binging Roundtable over the past couple months. You were always, thanks, Scrum Skates. I'm like reading like this. I can't see. I used to have glasses, but then I left them in a hotel room in New Orleans, as you do with glasses, and I haven't gotten a pair since. I should get glasses. I desperately need them. You can see me reading the comments like that. And I don't want to get that little frown here. I'm very vain, even though I'm smoking. I don't want to get that little frown. That's why I'm like, I almost think vanity saves me sometimes. Because when I start getting too negative and too nasty, you do that, you'll get scowl lines, right? So you have to breathe. That helps your mind, your spirit, and your face. Also, I don't sleep on my side, because when I sleep on my side, you'll get wrinkles on your chest. Wrinkles on your chest, ladies, or men, or whomever. Wrinkles on your chest. You get both your tits pushed together, you sleep on your back, or your stomach. I sleep on my stomach, and my chest hurts sometimes because I press on it. Did I miss any comments? Red and big. It was a fire truck. It was a fire truck. But that's how old money works. I used to work for old money. They were very demanding. I was taken care of completely. I did it for 3 years. I can't handle working in an office. Sitting down all day, not for me. Not for me. I'll sit down now with a cocktail at the end of the day. Boom. Need to invent some kind of there is a foam space thing. There is like a foam thing that you can lay on like this that separates your boobs and whatnot. It's a little much. I don't want to be like, hey, baby, I'm having a great night. I'm going to sleep. I'm like, what you drinking? Hey, B-Storm, I am drinking an old-fashioned. It's just a little bit of this, Makers. You're supposed to use bourbon. And you're also supposed to have sugar cubes to muddle, but I have simple syrup, which is just sugar and water heated up, and a little bit of splash of water, and some bitters. And that's it. Those are the best kind of drinks. Very simple. No juice. No juice in my drinks. Too much sugar. It'll give you a headache. Bad. Also, take an aspirin. 1 aspirin before you drink. That'll help you the next day. And drink water. Look at me. I said I wasn't going to smoke. And here I am. Oh yeah, so I worked in an office for like 3 years, and I can't do the sitting down all day. I don't know how people do it. I would get up and stretch like once every half an hour, and they'd be like, "Amber, what are you doing? You can't get up. Keep working." And I'm like, "I can't sit down for 6 to 8 hours. I can't do it." And there's like so many arbitrary rules. Like, let me know, people who work in offices, so many arbitrary rules. Like, I could take my half-hour lunch break, and I was like, "Hey, so I leave at 5. Can I just take my half-hour break at 4:30 and leave at 4:30?" And they're like, "No, you can't do that. It has to be in the middle of the day." And I'm like, "Why?" Also, like, when I'm done with my work, I was like, "Okay, I'm done with my work. Can I go now?" And they're like, "No, you stay through the day." And I was like, "But I've done everything." And apparently you're not supposed to say that at office jobs. You're supposed to like pretend work. Fuck that. Hey, Jamie. Sugar plus alcohol is bad, I agree. It is bad. Your terrible influences? Well, Jamie, I brought my pack out here anyway. Do you smoke, Jamie? Do you smoke cigarettes? I'm rambling. I like how I don't have anything to do on Friday, so I'm just chatting with a bunch of strangers on the internet. You're not strangers, though. You're friends. I'm trying to get into mortuary school. I was not expecting how conservative it is. I'm going to have to wear a suit every day. Mortuary school? You have to wear a suit? I guess because any minute you have to like pop out and deal with people who are like, "My cousin died." When my dad died, I mean, no offense to you, B Storm, and I'm sure what you do is great. When my dad passed, and I went to the place where they have all the caskets, they kept trying to upsell us on like silk pillows, better caskets, this bullshit we didn't need. And they're like, "Well, if you loved your father, you would get him the silk pillow." And I was pretty young, and I was like, "Hey, man, my dad said he wanted a pine box casket. And if you're not going to just get us this, then we're going to go somewhere else." You know, you can always say, "We're going to go somewhere else." Because you can. You take that dead body, you put it in your trunk, and you drive to the next place. You drive to a place that gives you a deal. They're just expecting you to be so sad. They take advantage of you, man. I didn't like that. I only wanted was a pine box casket, and that still cost $2,000. $2,000 just for a casket. It is so expensive to die. It is so expensive to die. I don't know my death plans yet. Hadn't thought of it. Dead Dad Club here. The funeral industry is wild. Is what, and I get you want to make a buck. You know, we all got to make a buck here. But like, dude, like, if someone's dad's dead, you're not gonna tell them get this $200 silk pillow because he would have wanted it. No, he didn't want it. He wanted a pine box casket, as I told you, Mr. Man. But that's weird what y'all gotta do. You gotta pull, don't you gotta pull, like, the stomach out the asshole or something? With, like, a hook? Like, what do you do? What do you do? B-Storm, let me know. Do you do, like, a mummy and take the brain out of the nose? My mother realized that she was upsold and ripped off as much, pre-ordering and preparing for her own funeral. Oh, man, Jamie, I'm sorry. Man, she was pre-ordering? I mean, that is smart of her to, like, pre-order so you guys don't have to deal with it, because your family has to deal with it. You know, you never think of it. We all think, like, "Oh, when I die, bury me in the trash." But sad realization is your family has to deal with it. Don't buy the silk pillows. Nobody gives a fuck about a silk pillow on their deathbed. Nobody. I hope they never sell those silk pillows. $200 for a silk pillow? Go fuck yourself. Nobody wants that. He wants a pine box casket. Nobody cares. You're dead. It's for the family. I would recommend getting food at the funeral, though, because there was no food. We were saving money because it's already expensive enough. But, like, get an aunt or something to cook some hoagies. Get in the parking lot. Get some, like, barbecue in the parking lot or something, because people are going to be hungry. It's a while. You're going to be there for a while. Everybody's got to come up to the casket. And also the makeup, the people that do the makeup when you die, I had a grandma, my Mima. She was like a God-fearing woman. And then she was very God-fearing, loved her Bible, very plain. And then when she died, the mortician put blue eyeshadow. And I've never seen her in blue, never seen her in makeup my entire life. Blue eyeshadow. And I was like, is Mima sucking dicks in heaven? What's going on? I hope so. Laurel, Mississippi internet lag, but there's never anything to do Friday night. Oh, thanks. Nuke, I'm sorry I can't read. Nuke Livingston. In America especially, we are so distant from death. How people can swoop in and take advantage. Absolutely, they take advantage. People are distant from death because we don't want to think about it. We don't want to think about our own demise. It's the same way we always think. My grandfather thought this. He thought that the world would end in his lifetime because we can't imagine the world going on without you. Everybody thinks the world's going to end in their lifetime and, the next generation's doing it wrong because we can't imagine the world's going to keep moving. And the next generation, they're messing up right now, but that's what kids are supposed to do. They mess up and then they figure it out and they move forward and they create a new thing. And you should create a new thing. The world is ever evolving. It's ever changing. It's like nature. But our houses used to be, parlors were among places you'd have to viewing of dead family members. Oh, that's going to be spooky. Jamie, do you have any horror stories, ghost stories, seeing dead people? Were you like a kid stumbling down like a casket? You had to learn about death pretty early. Morticians have it rough right now. People are so grossed out by their work. One mortician was answering my questions about what he does, and his wife got pissed and told him to shut up. Oh. His wife got mad. Wait. One mortician was answering my questions about what he does. So you were asking him, what do you do? What do you do? And his wife got upset. People get upset because they don't want to think about it. You don't want to think about your liver falling out of your asshole. And that's what's going to happen. You know when you die, you shit yourself? Happy Friday night. All of your bowels come out. That's why your mom, and she's like, wear clean panties because you don't know if you're going to die. You're going to shit yourself anyway. Also, who's looking at your panties after you've died? How people don't want to think about the bacon. People don't want to think about where the bacon comes from. They don't want to think about how the sausage is made. I do think that if you eat meat, you should kill your meat at one point in your life to see where it's from. I'm trying to think if I've ever killed an animal. I don't think I have. I've shot a gun. I've seen an animal die. But I haven't, you know what? Yeah, I've killed, fish. But does that matter? They're cold blood. I've killed lizards, worms. The best bait is live bait because it gets in the water and it wiggles around. It says, help me, help me, help me. And then predators come in. I do think that is a tool to use in the real world is when you're like, oh my God, help me, help me, help me. Is predators are like, victim. And then they come in, they swoop in. I agree. There was an old story about a geezer named Zeke who had a bad back and he was so bent over that he died. They had to strap him down so he would lay down straight in the coffin. Oh my God. Yeah, also you got to think about what you look like in the coffin. At his wake, his friend sat up at the body at night. As a custom, one of the straps snapped. He set him straight in the coffin. Oh shit. He set him straight in the coffin. They said it and they're like, he's back. He's back. Also, don't you fart when you die? Like on the gurneys? Like when you're laid out in the gurney, aren't you like... And then people think it's like ghosts or something, but it's just farts. Amber, how are you doing, girl? Hey, Turnip, I'm good. Everyone freaked out, but then realized what happened. I'm like, if Zeke is getting up, I'm going home. Oh, man. Asking Morticians is a great YouTube channel if anyone's death-related questions. Well, thank you, B-Storm. I will look at Asking Mortician. Yeah, when they put that blue eyeshadow on my very religious Meemaw, I was just like, what are you guys doing? It was probably some, beauty school dropout. Oh, my God, I love those women. The beauty school women in the small towns. My pedophile cousin's ex-wife was a beauty school lady. His mother married him off because she knew he was a pedophile. I told everybody he was a pedophile. I got blamed for it. He's now in prison. Thank goodness. I think he had like over 20 cases. Definitely over 20. I can't commit to the exact number at the moment, but it was a lot. But he's in Angola forever. Anyways, his ex-wife was this woman who's very nice, but beauty school girls in the South, in these small towns, the makeup is a line right here, and you can see a lot of the problems with the skin because there's no proper skincare, and and I'm not a makeup guru, and I don't want to shit on anybody, but yeah, they don't know how to do makeup. It's a lot of big hair. I do love the big hair, but I want to see the skin. I want to see a nice glow. You know, beauty should come from within. It really, water, positive thoughts, and whatnot. No bourbon here, Amber, so I'm going homemade apple pie moonshine. Yay, apple pie moonshine. Mima is doing Dragon Heaven. Mima is doing Dragon Heaven. You know, I do wonder if there's a world, because I grew up like very ultra conservative, and it was always this like, well, we must suffer now, so in the afterlife we have a good time. And I wonder if the afterlife is just like Studio 64 or whatever that was. Is that their heaven? Just Studio 64? Just have like Freddie Mercury and Princess Di dressed up as a man? Like, is that what heaven really is? Because all these people were collectively suffering, and they're like, in heaven we do great. Studio 69. Was it? Yeah, no caking on makeup, and calling it being makeup guru is a worldwide thing. Yeah. Do beauty school ladies wash and set? I don't know. Beauty school ladies wash and set. It was a joke. Yeah. It should be Studio 69. I don't know if 69ing was a thing in the 70s. I mean, it was a thing, but I don't think it was called 69. You should write for SNL B-Storm. I should stop looking at the numbers because people are joining and dropping, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm failing. But I'm not. I'm going to make another bourbon in a minute. How long have I been going? 37? Another 20 minutes. Yeah, I should stop looking at the numbers and just focus on inner strength. I never liked the fact that explaining jokes is yes, no material. I always picture the afterlife like just waking up another life or something. Yeah. I remember when my grandfather died, he was a minister, traveling minister in Louisiana, and I was in a dream, and I was laying in this bed, and he came to my bed, and he said, Amber, heaven is what you make of it. And he did this, and the door opened, and I saw this beautiful day, and I got out of bed, I started walking through the day, and I was having a wonderful time, and then I started getting these like super negative thoughts, and then the day started, and it just started getting gray and dark and cloudy, and I was scared, and oh my god. And I think that's kind of what heaven or hell is. I think it's what you make it. I mean, I am still a Christian because that's what I believe in, but I do think that if you carry on this negative energy, and if you're a negative kind of person and you pass, that's just going to continue. I mean, with science, once energy is created, it cannot be destroyed. So that we're going somewhere. And if you've seen a dead body, you know that it's a dead body. You know it's a dead body immediately. There's something missing. So that energy you have inside is just going to continue. What it is, I don't know. Where, I don't know. But if, you carry and harbor these awful energies, that's what it's going to be. But if you have this, I can do it, no matter what, I'm going to think positively, then that might continue. And thinking positive is very hard to do. It is like being a coal miner digging with your bare hands. It's very hard to be positive. Numbers are meaningless. Put any place by damn. We're all tiny pieces of universe, self-aware. We are tiny pieces of the universe. You might go and live on like another planet. My favorite conspiracy theory is that Saddam Hussein is living on another planet. That when he got hung, he went through the metal, the wooden thing, and then went into another planet and is the ruler of that planet. And no, there is no backup science to this. It's just what a few people believe. And if you look it up, there's some people who actually believe it. They learn so much. I mean, I was raised under Saddam Hussein. I get it. I get why people are like, he lives on. Because I was raised under a dictator. Was anybody else raised under a dictator here? That best conspiracy. Learning to let go of the negative is a gift you give yourself, but it's really tough. Yes, it is really tough. It is really, really tough to let go of the negative. It is so hard to think positive when like shit's going bad. That's why we have the game Hoopa-Goo-Goo on the brighter side. The game Hoopa-Goo-Goo, if you don't know, is where something negative happens and you just try to think something positive out of it. Like, your date has bad taste in music. Well, they'll probably sleep with you because they have low standards. You know? Or like there's a dog full of worms. Don't fish in with a dog. You just try your hardest to think of something positive off of this awful situation. I mean, I've been homeless. It was so hard to be positive when I was homeless. I wanted to do drugs so bad. People were giving me drugs. They're like, just do this. It'll make you feel better. And I was like, my advice to you is if you're homeless listening to this, is do not do drugs. Do not do drugs. Don't even smoke weed. Don't even smoke weed. It will impair your judgment. It will make you feel bad. You need to have a home, a place to reside. And I don't want to say homeless. I know there's a new word, houseless, because you still have a home. It's just not a house, you know. Have a roof over your head, even if it is a shitty roof over your head, something before you start. I mean, people are giving me like uppers, downers, Vicodin, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I've got to like, you got to focus up and get out of the situation. I know it's a tough thing to say, but you really have to. It's something we've seen, so it appears. I played with my family last night. Oh, you played Hoopa-Goo-Goo with your family, B-Storm? Hierarchy of needs isn't a joke. You're right. Oh, B-Storm, I'm so happy. Did they like it? Did they like you playing? I played with my mom, and she was like, I hate this game. That's good. Yes, your hierarchy of needs. You've got to have just a place. It doesn't have to be the best. It's just somewhere to live right now. Let's make another old fashioned. Yes, we had a lot of material. Oh, that could be a good or bad thing. Let's see. The ice has all congealed together. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. Hierarchy of needs is a very real thing. I even like went on some dates when I was homeless. And boy, oh boy, was I not a good date. I just was a crazy person. I was an absolute crazy person. I didn't tell these men I was homeless. I was like, oh, I'm in downtown. You know, and then I'm still like in this nice outfit, and I still did things like paint my toenails, because I think men notice these little things. They don't say they do, but I think they do. When you paint your toenails, you fix your nails. My nails are not really fixed right now. Like when your hair isn't so nasty, they notice. So I definitely like tried to manicure myself up the best I could. I definitely remember getting some like $1.99 nail polish just because I was like, my toes were disgusting. And I was like, I gotta like paint this a little bit so he doesn't know I'm homeless. I mean, I'm kind of going against my own words here because yes, I was homeless. I say don't do drugs, but I did have sex. But I was also in a relationship where we were not having sex. And it's never just sex. It's never just sex. You know? If you are not doing it and you both don't want to, that is a serious problem in the relationship. I don't know what a healthy amount is. That depends on you. It's definitely a tragedy when couples get married for doing it, and they are both on different sexual levels. One person wants it more, one person wants it less. And now you gotta like make it work. No one wants that. I mean, nobody even wants to like be making love to somebody who doesn't want it. You know? It's not fun. Splash water. Now. One person imagery. Yes, wait, hold on. One person is imaginary. One person is imaginary Beastorm. I'm trying to think what that means. I've also had this is my second one of these. I'm sorry, Beastorm. Yeah, it's never just sex. And again, this goes back to the beginning of the discussion when I see so many people on Twitter that are just like, I'm horny and lonely. And I'm just like, I don't know. Why doesn't everybody just get together in like one orgy? Jeez Louise, everybody's so lonely. And it's because human beings aren't meant to live this way. We're not meant to live in fucking quarantine. One person is a relationship. Oh, sorry, single joke. Sorry about that. Cheers. Here's a question I have for all of you. I shot my video today, my cooking video, and I didn't put it out. I'm glad I didn't because there's a couple other girls that do cooking videos on YouTube that have way higher numbers than I do. And I was like, no, I by the time I was done with the video, it was like 4:35, and I was like, it's kind of too late, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. But is there a certain day, do you think, that would be the best for the cooking video? Like, you know, Wednesday at noon, Thursday at 4, just shout out some answers, whatever you like. Thursday, cheers, I started my second apple pie. Thanks, Jamie. Oh, man. Thursday's good? Thursday at noon? I don't have a cigarette. Jeez Louise. I'm getting crazy. Thursday at 4. Noon. Perfect. I like Thursday afternoon. Noon would be good just because people could see it and have dinner inspiration. Oh, that's a good idea. Dinner inspiration. I definitely have to get like, I don't know. I like doing it. I definitely feel crazy when I do it. Like these cooking videos, I feel like, you know, like every demon you have in your system is telling you you're stupid, you're worthless, and you just keep pushing through. Do you know what that feeling is? Compromise 2 p.m. B is onto something. Yeah, that's good. Like Thursday afternoon, compromise 2 p.m. It'd be good. So it's like 3 or 4 on other coasts, so it's still enough time to like get dinner together. Okay. How is Friday at 7 working for this though? Because I want to do after Jackie. I don't want to like meddle in her business. I feel like I'm just getting the end of these videos. I'm just getting like, how is this? The Brussels sprouts episode is. Oh, thanks. Thanks for liking the Brussels sprouts. I was having, man, in those early episodes, I feel like the food and the cooking was not that good. You know, you're learning. I still put it out there, but I'm looking at it today and I'm like, oh, this is not, this doesn't look good. Like any of the pasta episodes, like I did that carbonara. There was an early episode where I did some like, not carbonara because that includes pancetta or ham, but it was just egg. But that's such a timing thing. And I had to like work with a camera and piddle with that. And I was also like stressed about unemployment. So it did not come out looking very good. It should look almost like a curd, the back of your spoon should like pick up the egg, and it should just kind of like slowly drip. But it was like all like splotchy and nasty. But you know what? I'm glad I put it on YouTube where there's no judgments. Perfect for lonely pandemic Friday nights. Hey, not all Beyonce songs were bangers. Everyone has doubts. She probably scraped some songs. You're right. Hey. So I'll put out this video tomorrow, and then I honestly had no idea what I was going to talk about in the video I just edited. I'm going to put it out tomorrow. But I guess Thursday at noon is a good one, or Thursday 2 p.m. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about creativity and imagination, but that sounds a little too, I don't know, it just didn't fit. And then I ended up talking about something kind of sad. You'll see it tomorrow. I'm going to make Manhattans this weekend. I haven't had one since before COVID. You know, it's pretty easy. I would say the most expensive thing besides the bourbon is the bitters, but these bitters have lasted me. This bottle, I would think, was like $7, which is a lot of money, but it has, you only need like 2-3 drops each time, and it goes in many different cocktails. Manhattans, martinis, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, old-fashioned cocktails, old fashions. I've had that same brand of bitters for 4 years. 4 years? See, yeah, you're gonna spend $7 and have this for like 4 years. But that's the thing. I've been poor for so long that if you were to tell me when I was like living in New York that, you know, just invest $7 in these bitters, I'd be like, get the fuck out. I'm gonna take that $7. I'm gonna go to the bar and get a beer shot special. You know, like a dive bar. Because I was like living more for the moment and not for the long term. I didn't understand long-term living because I didn't think I was going to live long-term. Yeah. For so many years, I was just living for the short term. And I had a lot of fun, but what happened is I was living in an apartment with black mold and roaches and rats, and I couldn't cook, and I loved cooking. All I wanted to do was cook. I remember one time I got some cauliflower, and I was like, I'll steam some cauliflower. And as I lit the gas, a roach crawled up through the gas and then just chilled, like no big deal, because, you know, roaches will survive all of us. And I just got so sad, I threw away all the cauliflower, and I thought I think it was like $10 for the whole, like, I think I was chicken and cauliflower. And I was like, I just wasted it. And I was like, I got so sad. And I remember just like ordering Domino's and then just eating off of that for the week. And then not even throwing away the box because I was like, I'm the worst person. I don't deserve to throw away the box. And I would look at the box and be like, I'm a bad person. And then one day I was like, just throw away the box. Just throw away the box. It helped. Hard to plan for the future you don't see yourself in. Yeah. If you don't see yourself in the future, how are you going to plan for it? I mean, if you have this I'm going to die today mentality, which is what I did for so many years, you're not going to do things like meal prep or clean your house, like things that are really good for you, that are actually good for living for the day. My best days are when I wake up, I go work out. I have like some toast, you know, for breakfast, things I planned that I already had there. So it's kind of a yin yang of living for the day, but also prepping. Because if you prep, you can also live better for the day. I honestly didn't start living well until I moved to California. I was living in a very bad place for a long time in New York City. I moved to California with my ex. Also, another reason I don't hate him is I don't think I would have moved here without him. He was like, I think you should move here. I think it would be better for you. And I was like, I don't know. And then he moved, and I was like, okay. And then he got a really good job. And things just kind of like didn't work out between us. But I don't think I would have moved here if it weren't for him. And I would probably still been in New York during COVID, during the lockdown. And I don't think I would be here today, honestly. If I was living a life like that, stuck in a tiny apartment. Imagine being stuck in that for months. And like, there's no greenery. There's no place I can take a walk around the block. You're just stuck with the rats, and the rats are your friends. I would have at least killed myself, for sure, if I didn't move here. What mixes well with Southern comfort? I hate Laurel Internet. Oh, I'm sorry. But, 35 is months at the point, though. It's still going. I'm sorry. There's so many comments. I used to say 35 was my expiration date. Then I started went back and it's been weird. Yeah, people always say 35 is a weird time. People are always like, I'm going to die at 35 or life ends at 35, but it keeps going. It keeps going. Life keeps going whether you like it or not. You're going to be 40 and then you're going to be 50 and 60. My mother turned 70. You know what she did? She went ziplining. She went ziplining at 70. You can do these things. I would say age is a number unless you're trying to date someone who's underage, then it is absolutely a number. But, people that are just like, you're 35, give up. You're 25, give up. Give up on this dream you have. You still have a big, beautiful life ahead of you. It's your life. It's not their fucking life. Who the fuck are them to tell you to stop? Who the fuck are they to tell you to stop doing the things that you love? The things that bring you joy because you're done, you're over it? That's a miserable person trying to run somebody else's life. I don't like that at all. And that's all over the internet. All over the internet. That's all I see all day. I'm trying to put horse blinders on. It's hard. I do spend more time on the internet on sites I hate than sites I like. What's going on? What mixes well with Zuckerberg? Misery loves company. Yes, B-Storm. Misery does love company. I think there's a lot of projection going on, and that took me a long time to understand that when people say things like, you're too old to be loved, you're too old to get an education, you're too young to understand that, you're too young to do that. Unless you're under 18, then yes, you are too young to do that. And it's like, sexual stuff, no. But that's all projection. That's all projection. Maybe like the too young thing. I don't know. I don't like watching TV shows where high schoolers are having sex. I think that's gross. So yes, I would definitely say you're too young to do that. Maybe just the too old thing. You're too old to get an education, to change careers, to, go skydiving. You're too old to do that. That's them saying you can't do that. That's them saying that they can't do that. Schadenfreude is also, yes, it is. People want to see you fail. They want to see people fail. And they also, there's a lot of, you got owned on the internet. I hate that. You got owned, I own you. Let me debate you and own you. I hate that. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Who owns? You got owned, you got... Anyways, I'm rambling. We have 2 more minutes left. I may just finish this. I don't know. I'll keep going. Yeah, a lot of projection. A lot of people and especially on the internet, people can lie, and they can also say they look different, catfish you. They could also not want you in their field. Say maybe they're an air traffic controller, and that's, I imagine, a pretty limited field. And no, you can't go into air traffic controlling. You're too old. You're not the right gender or skin color or whatever. You can't do that. It's probably because they don't want you competing with them. Right? My favorite response is, you seem normal, well adjusted. That's a good response because they're not fucking normal. So much of my time on Twitter is just scrolling through and being like, I hate this. That's why I used to be a very blue comic. When I did stand-up, I was very blue, very kind of nasty. And then when COVID hit, something kind of changed. And I thought, I would like to be kind of G-rated. I would like to be nice. I would like to be informative, helpful in some way, non-condescending, simply because the world is too bad as it is. Why do we need more negativity? I wish I would have done that sooner. But, the world had to hear about my pussy for 7 years when I did stand up. That's another thing. People are always like, female stand-ups, all they do is talk about their pussy at the open mics. And I'm like, yeah, you're at open mics. Like, go, open mics dudes talk about their dicks. Or they talk about being a libertarian. Who gives a shit? You don't hear about that. You just hear about the women. It's really to put us down. I mean, I could share more on that. All right, we're down to 12. I miss Mitch Hedberg in these times. I enjoy this, good topics, good stuff, learn something and to enjoy. Oh, as a bartender and comedian, how do you feel about Halloween? Jamie, how do I feel about Halloween? I used to not like Halloween. I used to think it was just for idiots. And now I think I'm a little bit older. I'm like, oh, it's fun. People are just dressing up. It's really like your costume is who you are on the inside, just exclamated, whatever that word is. A friend of mine, she was getting married, and she and her husband, they went as the Wall. They're now going through troubled times, I hear, but so it was like her and her husband. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to get into this. She might be watching, but it was just not good costume. A lot of girls that dress up very slutty, I find that they probably are not getting a lot of sex. So whenever you see sexy bunny or whatever, they're not getting a lot of sex or a lot of good sex. And that's why they're dressing that way. Halloween is your shadow self personified. That's exactly what that is. So they want good sex. They're just not getting it. Or else, why would they be dressing that way? If you were getting good sex, why would you be dressing like a sexy bunny? You're already getting good sex. Dress for the job you want, right? You're correct. You're correct. All right, everybody. I hope I have entertained you for this hour. I've had a good time. I guess this is going to go on YouTube Live, and then I'm going to save it, and we'll see. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, thank you, Jamie. So I guess every Friday at 7 we'll be doing this, and I guess every Thursday at 2 I'll put out my video. I try to do it consecutively, but sometimes I just get wrapped up in my own head. And I was going to push back my video again because I didn't have anything, but I was like, just fucking do it. So, all right. I'll see you guys next Friday at 7 o'clock. Bye.